this is kind of a way to decide whether you should be charitable as a startup. Is it a profitable industry? And then is the customer the direct beneficiary? This is very important because if you are building any kind of organization, especially a for-profit business, and you're going to now give away part of the profit, but the customer is not the beneficiary, that puts you in a very weird position because who are you serving? Who is this built for? And that's not to say you shouldn't be profitable and not donate some of your profits. You should absolutely do that, but you have to run it as a business. So if it's not a profitable industry and the customer is not the direct beneficiary, you're basically a charity in disguise. Now, if it's not a profitable business and the customer is the beneficiary, so Chipotle tried to do this. There's another one called Daily Table. I think that's the one that recycled food from Whole Foods and tried to resell it because it was spoiling but still usable. You have to be extremely efficient if it's an unprofitable industry. So you're always going to be walking that fine line between surviving and failing, because the margins are so low, especially with food. I mean, the best supermarkets are barely 2 or maybe 3% profitability. You think a secondhand supermarket is going to do better? And Chipotle ran into a lot of problems too, because they were like, oh, we try to source locally, we try to do all this stuff with our supply chain, and then they poisoned a bunch of people. Not once, not twice, but 3 times. So then they're like, okay, we better tone down this charity thing because we still need to keep this company in business. Let's say you're in a very profitable business, but your customer's not the beneficiary. That is the thing I hate the most. And Tom's Shoes is a perfect example. So they're like, oh, buy one, give one, right? Same thing with Warby Parker glasses. I guess it makes you feel good if you don't have any critical thinking skills and you're like, oh, I bought these shoes and, you know, a young boy in an underprivileged nation is going to have shoes. Yeah, but you know what underprivileged nations are really good at? Making shoes. They're really good at it. So you are potentially destroying a local industry or competing with it by dumping a bunch of free product that they could actually manufacture on their own because of the feeling or the impression of doing good that you want to leave with people. It is bizarre to me. It is so insanely bizarre. And even just the slightest bit of critical thinking would put these guys out of business. Anyway, they drive me nuts. Now, if you're in a very profitable industry and your customer is the direct beneficiary, I'm intrigued. I'm not necessarily convinced, but I'm intrigued. So Khan Academy is a perfect example. They help kids learn through these video lessons, and they're very good lessons. Even I wanted to bone up on trigonometry. It's really well done. So it's possible, but it's very rare. And I don't like it, especially when it falls into this feel-good bullshit category.